Nicki Minaj has been causing a ton of controversy this year, from swollen testicles to alleged victim harassment to a feud with Jessie J, and now an attack on Leigh of Little Mix. There's so much to unpack here. Now, if you don't know who Little Mix is, they are an extremely popular girl group from the UK who hasn't had much success in America. Little Mix is a very talented girl group. They all can sing, they're charismatic performers, and just a good pop group. Things eventually took a turn when Jesy decided to leave the group in 2020. She had struggled with body image issues and would always compare herself to the other girls in the group. Jesy was made fun of quite a lot, especially at the beginning of the group, and the way the girls supported her and backed her also helped the appeal of the group. It seemed like a genuine bond of sisterhood that young fans could connect to. Jesy eventually decided to go solo. Some people were confused because they thought she didn't want to do music anymore, but in reality, she just didn't like the pressure of being in a girl group. Her solo career effectively began when she dropped her new song Boys recently featuring Nicki Minaj. Boys is an homage to Thousands R&B and samples Diddy's Bad Boys for Life. The song and video, particularly Jesy's look, was met with controversy, with allegations of blackfishing with curly hair and an excessive tan. Now, when I personally look at Jesy, do I see a black person? No. I've never seen a black person whose skin has an excessive orange tint. I can see the parallels when it comes to being racially ambiguous, but not just a monoracial black person. She also got backlash for her weave, which seemingly emulates that of a racially ambiguous or black person, although Jesy does naturally have a curly pattern to her hair. But it wasn't just her tan and weave that caught backlash, it was her music video, where she's dressed in street attire claiming how she likes hood guys. I'm not familiar with Jesy's upbringing, but she has said she's influenced by R&B and hip-hop, and that's what she grew up on. Obviously, people have the right to look how they want to and make the kind of music they want to, but it can also be different when it comes to presentation in the music industry, especially when black artists will struggle to occupy certain genres and their white counterparts will excel in it. If Jesy didn't have such a vigorous tan and bad weave, she probably wouldn't have gotten so much backlash, if any at all. Cultural appropriation and blackfishing are still very divisive topics. A person who's calling out Jesy could just as much be a fan of Ariana Grande, who has had blackfishing allegations herself, and released songs like Seven Rings, and has also sung about having hood love, but Ariana is seemingly universally loved. I do think there is certainly a history of white artists like Christina Aguilera, Miley Cyrus, etc., who have used blackness as a launching pad into certain parts of their career just to be seen as cool or edgy. While the love for black culture may be genuine, a lot of times the act they put on is not and can feel like a caricature. She may not have had ill intentions, but it wouldn't hurt for Jesy to be more mindful of how she presents herself and the things she says. The song itself is okay, not anything to go crazy over, although I do like the sample. But what really took the internet by storm was Nicki Minaj dissing one of the Little Mix members in favor of Jesy, while not entirely being educated on the circumstances at all. And this was simply clown behavior on Nicki's part. It was alleged that Leigh sent out DMs asking a big fan page to make a video on Jesy blackfishing, which I personally don't feel like was the right way to go about things, but this is just all alleged. Nicki Minaj then took it upon herself to insert herself into literally nothing that had anything to do with her, claiming that Leigh was jealous of Jesy, but also further claiming that people only said Jesy was blackfishing because she worked with Nicki Minaj, which is just not true at all. This conversation has been going on a little while before Nicki, but Nicki is so infatuated with being seen as the bad guy and the industry outcast that she'll try to run with anything to fit her narrative. Nicki also spoke out about Jessy's mental health, while in the same breath attacking Leigh and disregarding her mental health when she just had twins.
Hard. Take them text messages and shove it. Because when you do clown, I gotta treat you and talk to you like you a clown. Don't have to come out and try to ruin anyone. Let her enjoy this time. If you was in this woman's group and you ain't talk about this for 10 years, and as soon as you see she got a video come out with Nicki Minaj and Puffy, now you sending the stations text messages and all. Print them text messages out. Bust your open and shove it up your ass. Okay? And stop trying to hurt people and kill people's lives and career. This is the way people feed their families. Stop. If you want a solo career, baby girl, just say that. You can go out and put your own music. We're going to support you and love you. That's it. You don't have to attack someone else. If that's how you felt, why would you keep keying with her and being in the videos with her for 10 years? Now, all of a sudden, she's not in a video with you. You have some negative, evil thing to do and say? Stop. If that's the case, tell all of these singers that y'all follow and all of these reality TV people that y'all follow, tell them to take off their spray tan and their tans and their lips and their everything.
Also, literally none of the Little Mix members have openly spoke about Jesy at all since the breakup. So this was so unnecessary on Nicki's part. And you also can't mention unfair treatment while disregarding the struggles that Leigh faced with racism while being the only black girl in the group. Jesy has also faced criticism after she was asked about Leigh dealing with racism. She responded and said, "No, I knew it affected Leigh though. She is better at dealing with it than I am." What a tone-deaf response. Now, I won't deny that Jesy also went through some horrible things, but she could extend the same courtesy to her fellow bandmate and not just be so dismissive. I don't think she necessarily meant her response in a harmful way, but that's exactly what it is, and it comes across as if she's minimizing what Leigh had to go through. Ultimately, I just think this entire ordeal was awful, and the initial situation didn't have to be taken so far, especially on Nicki's end, when it had absolutely nothing to do with her, and bashing these girls without even knowing the full truth. Not to mention, Little Mix also boldly defended Nicki during the whole Cardi versus Nicki fiasco. Nicki also tweets about Leigh-Ann's husband, and I'm just like, really? Is talking about husbands really the can of worms you want to open up right now? It's just not a very good look. Jesy's source told a publication that she didn't know that Nicki would go after the other Little Mix members, but Jesy could have easily said something and stood up for them, but she just sat there. I try to be mindful that the Little Mix girls have a very long history together, and they built a hugely successful brand together. So no one will really know the truth unless they all come out and talk about it. I really do hope that they can eventually resolve their issues. This situation was mishandled from the jump, but also unnecessarily amplified by Jesy and Nicki, and Nicki especially, who mindlessly dissed Leigh over and over.